And here we go. All right, everybody, stocks at bat, the numbers, welcome back. And this is how you start off a new year. This is how you start off a new week. We're talking about FuboTV Incorporated, ticker symbol FUBO, listed here on the New York. Look at this stock just raging. Stock hits almost $5 a share on this news. Disney essentially taking a 70% stake in the company, combining it with Hulu Plus Live, and essentially giving Fubo about a 30% stake in this joint venture. Also, this joint venture will apparently remain led by Fubo, by Fubo CEO, and also will remain listed under the symbol FUBO. So you can still invest into this over the longer term. Anyone who got in recently, obviously at like 130, 1.5. If you want to take the money and run up here at $4 or $5 and change, very understandable, of course. I mean, just today alone, we're talking about a 3.5 point move, approaching 250% gains here, hitting new highs of 498. And again, right now, on its way back up, it's going even higher. And this is why I said, in my opinion, this is why I continued to not only talk about this company every couple of weeks for like the last year and a half straight or something, but also every time I looked at it, I stuck to my guns, so to speak. I stayed on the same side of the fence, and I consistently reiterated the same theory and mentality every single video. And this was exactly what I was talking about. Because we were looking at Fubo, and again, it only had a market cap of a couple of $100 million. Even now, we're talking about a $500 million company. And that's why now, if we're combining these services and we're adding like 6 million subscribers or whatever Hulu has, I mean, in my opinion, it should only get better. And not only also is Fubo now dropping, all legalities against Disney and Warner Brothers, but also they're receiving a couple of $100 million in cash, and now being under the Disney umbrella, the main negative behind Fubo, which was their cash burn, the fact that it took them so long to get on that path to profitability, even though looking at the numbers, again, we were talking about how they were very close to hopping the fence and going EPS positive and reporting positive cash flows, right? We were right there. And that's why, what did I say? What did I say? I said the whole time, I said, in my opinion, this stock is either going to run back up to, new highs of $5, $7 on its own merits, based on the growth we were seeing in subscribers and in revenue, or a larger company should come along and, in my opinion, should offer them whatever, 800 million, 1.2 billion, whatever, and just gobble them up real quick. And now, again, we have something kind of down that road, but we have this merger taking place with Disney, so let's get into exactly what the details of the deal are. Walt Disney agreed to merge its Hulu Plus live TV business with FuboTV in a deal that will give the media and entertainment a 70% stake in its streaming peer and settle litigation related to the proposed Venue Sports venture. The combination will create programming packages that, quote, address a variety of consumer preferences at attractive price points, Disney and Fubo wrote in a joint statement. Shares were up. The new virtual multi-channel video programming distributor will be operated by Fubo's existing management team, which obviously know what they're doing because Fubo was staging a massive comeback, including, chief executive under the Fubo name. It will have 6.2 million combined North American subscribers, just North America. Quote, this agreement allows us to scale effectively, strengthens Fubo's balance sheet, and positions us for positive cash flow. Quote, it's a win for consumers, our shareholders, and the entire streaming industry. Immediately following its merger with Disney's Hulu Plus live TV, Fubo is expected to be well capitalized and cash flow positive. Fubo will be governed by a board that is majority appointed by Disney. Fair enough. I mean, technically they own 70%, so. The new company will expand both Disney and Fubo's VMVPD offerings and provide consumers with, quote, more choice and flexibility. As part of the transaction, Fubo agreed to settle all existing litigation related to Venue Sports, the proposed sports streaming platform planned by ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers. Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers will pay a total of $220 million to FuboTV. Disney will also provide a $145 million term loan to FuboTV in 2026. So essentially getting almost $400 million. No one immediately responded. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York in August issued a preliminary injunction against the Venue Sports joint venture, citing potential antitrust concerns. Disney will enter into a new carriage agreement that enables FuboTV to launch its own sports and broadcast service, featuring Disney's sports broadcasting assets, including ABC and a variety of ESPN channels. Both FuboTV and HULU Plus Live TV will continue to be available as separate offerings. So this was one of the possibilities that I spoke about. And again, I mean, you know, I may not have been extremely specific, but also at the same time, when there's so many companies in a space, you don't know who's going to throw their hat into the rink and make the move. And this is why I feel like a phone call may have been made behind the scenes. Maybe we, you know, had a little meetup somewhere quiet. We did some palm pressing. We crunched the numbers. And we said, hey, you know what? Listen, you're probably going to beat us in the courts. And, you know, that's going to be a freaking disaster. So I have an idea. Why don't we just team up? We'll combine this whole thing. That'll give you more exposure. But, you know, we'll keep you on board. And, you know, we'll keep the symbol going. And, you know, everything will be great. And it'll, you know, it's more for everybody. It's not less. And obviously, FuboTV seems like they're in agreement here. So, again, we dropped the litigation. We're getting a couple of $100 million here. Again, the judge initially, the preliminary injunction went in FuboTV's favor. And I know recently also we had another update. It seemed like a lot of the legal professionals here were leaning in FuboTV's favor. Which again, I said in my opinion was probably going to be the outcome throughout this entire lawsuit. Because just looking at the landscape of the situation, I kept saying, in my opinion, you know, to have three people team up to take on FuboTV, I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer in my eyes. But I know a lot of people were sitting on their hands. But again, now with this merger, the main negative behind FuboTV, that negative cash flow, I mean, that's out the window now. This talks about the U.S. Steel deal. Excuse me, my sinuses are all messed up today. It's snowing here. I know there's like 18 inches out in the Midwest and stuff. Out in Kansas, they got like 17, 18 inches. So we're storming here in the States right now. But Disney now owns 70% of the new venture. Partnership creates a streaming powerhouse with over 6.2 million subscribers and $6 billion in revenue, making it the second largest live TV streaming service behind YouTube TV. Yep, it's a win for everybody. This isn't just another merger, it's a game changer. Disney's involvement brings ESPN, ABC, other heavy hitters into FuboTV's orbit, while FuboTV's sports first focus gives Disney a new edge in live sports streaming. The deal ends the legal beef. Yep, paying $220 million, $145 million term loan. It's a clear signal both companies are betting big on this collaboration. It's about thriving. By leveraging Disney's deep pockets and premium content, FuboTV is poised to scale like never before. Meanwhile, Disney secures a foothold in an increasingly lucrative market segment. With fresh revenue streams, legal hurdles cleared, and a renewed focus on growth, the new FuboTV-HULU combo is one to watch as the streaming wars heat up. So, just absolutely phenomenal news. And again, I have to pat myself on the back. I don't want to strain my wrist, patting myself on the back too much, but I think this was a pretty darn impressive call, if I do say so myself. And again, Disney, they saw the writing on the wall. They knew it wasn't going to go their way, and they saw that they might never be able to get Venue Sports up and running. And even if they did, they might possibly never be able to compete with the growth of FuboTV and the market share that they attained for themselves. So, again, you know what? One of the original theories. Oh, while they're cheap here, you know, you step in and you say, hey, listen, here's $5 a share, here's $7 a share, you know, let's merge, let's take you out, let's buy you out. And that's the news that we're getting today. And even switching over to something like stock charts, it really doesn't matter because, again, now, in my eyes, this is purely a fundamental play. That's why you're seeing such an intense reaction, right? You're seeing a massive explosion up to almost $5. And again, you'd have to go back when? When was the stock $5? All the way back here? Nope, that was 470. There, what is that? Mid-September of 2022. That was the last time the stock was at $5, right? And also going from these highs here, look at this. We draw out a couple of trend lines. This is going from the high February 2nd, 2023. And I drew one trend line to the top of that wick on August 4th, 2023. That's this top trend line. And I drew one here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I drew one basically across to that next top of December 14th, 2023. So those are the two trend lines now that I'm looking at because now we're curling and we're going to head back up in this direction. We were down here, we were lulled. Again, in the fundamentals, in my opinion, it was still worth $3, $4 at this point. They were keeping it down, all the legal issues, blah, blah, blah. And now, boom, just like that with one announcement, all of that is now cleared up. Not only are the legal issues squashed, not only, oh my goodness, what was I going to say? Not only are the legal issues squashed, but now also the issue with FUBO, again, with the negative cash flow, that's completely squashed as well. There's nothing, I see nothing but positives now, really, in my opinion. But again, going back to these trend lines here, you can see this trend line about 475, which technically we broke above. And the next trend line, in my opinion, looks like around 640 and change. I'm looking for like 644. But even here, see, back to that previous high, I mean, we're talking like 8 and a quarter. Previous, you know, little consolidation zone here. Even if you go mid-range, you're looking at what, like 7 1/3, maybe 7 1/2 potentially, psychological level. So again, in the short term, if you got in at, you know, 130 and you wake up to this, so you hit the sell button, I really don't think not many people could blame you for securing that profit. I mean, it's not every day you wake up and see a stock move, you know, 200-300%. So if you do secure that profit, obviously, congratulations, well played. But on the flip side, if you do want to hang in for the long run and see where this joint venture goes and see if it can keep growing, then obviously you can hang on. And in my opinion, you can see 640. And if we come back here and look at the weekly, we can see the 200-day moving average now was coming down and potentially meeting up with the stock now, and you can see it's sitting exactly at 7.5 now. This is on the weekly time frame. But again, in my opinion, this is more about the fundamentals now. This is not about the technicals, really, which is why the stock continues to hit new highs. And you can see the RSI on the weekly is at 83.5. The RSI on the daily is sitting here currently over 91, right? But that doesn't matter. Because again, people are looking at this saying, now with this joint venture, even if I buy here and it goes from 470 back to 370, you know, chances are several months down the road, you know, they start bringing in some revenue, they report a couple of quarters, stock might get up to $9, $10 a share, right? So that's why, in my opinion, people are still piling in. Of course, they're Johnny-come-latelys, and they may have just heard the news, so they're jumping in. But again, also at the same time, even with this run-up, we are not talking, in my opinion, about a massively overinflated market cap. That's why, again, realistically, as crazy as it sounds, I think you could even double from here, which is why I'm saying, again, maybe $9.5, $10 could be very, very possible. Let's check the pivot points real quick. I'll let you go. I am just ecstatic. And you can ask everyone in the Discord. They'll attest to it. Again, Discord free for you guys to join. I keep the expired link in the description to keep the bots out. But just request a fresh link in the comments. I'll drop you a fresh link. You come in, you join us. But people started talking about MBOT moving pre-market, and then we started to see FUBO moving pre-market. I was up late. All that news started to come out early AM, and honestly, I didn't even go to sleep yet. So I pulled an all-nighter. I stayed up. I wanted to watch all the stocks, keep in contact with everyone in Discord, and we were watching it together. And I kept saying that this stock could see this 478 level, roughly 475. And you can see, look at that, how it just came up and was dancing right around that trend line. But again, over the long term, in my opinion, believe it or not, I actually do still think there's value here. But again, remember, it's your money. You work hard for it. So if you put in a big chunk into FUBO and you were banking on some good news like this, and now you get it and the stock runs up to whatever, $4.80, $5, if you want to secure some profits, lock in some of it. And maybe if you want to keep like a third or a quarter of it running, again, it's entirely your own prerogative. We're all in different financial situations, but this is just a phenomenal freaking Monday morning. And it just shows you that I'm too damn good. And I remember, it's funny because brokers used to use the line on the phone. I mean, they probably still do, like, oh yeah, Mr. Smith, buy this stock, give me 60 to 90 days and I'll prove to you who's who in my line of business. Well, listen, I am consistently proving who's who in my line of business. And not only have we seen multiple nice base hits and doubles and even some triples, but we've hit a lot of home runs on this channel as well. And we've found some very interesting situations, and we technically were looking at them and were able to position ourselves before they really took off and ran. So I'm just very happy that this one worked out. And this is the kind of news that something like FUBO needed, obviously, as you see again, stock running up to almost $5. So anyone who, again, would always like or comment on previous FUBO updates, again, I appreciate that support. And I am just very glad that this one, worked out swimmingly for everybody. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Is this a massive move? And do you think it's going to kind of quiet out now and just remain stagnant? So you're looking to book some profits here and just call it a day? Or do you think, you're going to sell a chunk, cover your investment cost, and then keep a chunk running as well over the long term to see if it really could become even better than what FUBO just had originally themselves? So I'm curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments, but that's pretty much it. So I'll end it there. Once again, this is Stocks by the Numbers. I want to thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down in the comments section. I'm usually pretty quick to reply. Thumbs up algorithm helps me get more eyes on the channel. And of course, subscribe to the channel. That is our handshake agreement. That is how you help me help you. But of course, more importantly, moving forward, like I always say, I understand that markets are rocky, they're volatile, and they are very uncertain. So I want to wish all of you success. I hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.